I'm Matt Bouchard with REIT.com here in San Francisco for REITWorld 2013. Joining me for this CEO Spotlight is Dennis Gershenson, the President and CEO of Ramco-Gershenson Properties Trust. Dennis, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now let's start by talking about the acquisition market in the shopping center industry. What are you seeing in the way of available deals, pricing, and the competition for those assets?
It's very interesting because we were in a very frothy market in the first 5 months of the year when Mr. Bernanke came out with his prognostication that things might change. The market just crushed. And it took most of the summer for both the buyers and the sellers to feel that there was some normalcy coming back into the marketplace. Now here we are in the fall. We're seeing the high-quality shopping centers as well as the B shopping centers back on the market. We're active in that marketplace, and what we find is that as far as the highest quality assets are concerned, the institutional buyers are still paying approximately the same cap rates that they were paying before, and there is a tremendous amount of competition for those. And for the B assets, those have probably increased maybe 25 to 50 basis points because the private buyers or the majority of buyers who are interested in those assets need financing, and obviously then what has happened in the financial markets have impacted those acquisitions.
So obviously anytime there's a market or sector where competition and prices for acquisitions start to rise, that leads one to look at development or redevelopment activities. What type of activity do you have in both of those areas?
We do have some developments. However, development takes one of two forms. Either it's legacy property that we purchased in the go-go days of 2004 to 2007, and we're now realizing on those properties and actually developing. We've announced two projects. One we're now completing, which is in Jacksonville, Florida, and the second we have just recently announced in Lakeland, Florida, both of which, when we announced them, were over 90% pre-leased. So we were very pleased with that. We will not be greenfield developers going forward, but what we have been doing is we have been acquiring land adjacent to our most recent acquisitions. That gives us the opportunity to expand on a very successful asset.
And lastly, let's talk about your anchor tenants. And as you look across your portfolio, how would you describe the quality, the durability of those anchors? And what changes are you seeing in terms of what types of tenants are occupying your anchor space?
We're very focused on improving the quality of our anchor tenants as well as the whole spectrum of retailers in our shopping centers. But when we experienced the difficulties in the economic downturn, when the Circuit Cities went out, when the Linens and things went out, we wanted to make sure that we brought in retailers who certainly, number one, satisfied the consumer demand, number two, had a national presence, and number three, had the type of credit quality that we were looking for. So we have filled our shopping centers where we had vacancies either that existed before the debacle of the recession or as a result thereof with high-quality national retailers. One of the exciting things about bricks and mortar retailing is it is always refreshing itself. So with the problems that Circuit City and Linens had, along comes retailers like Bye Bye Baby. We've had retailers such as Gordman's, who is a department store venture into Michigan, and now we're making deals with them. The uses such as LA Fitness have been on a major expansion kick, and where fitness operations were kind of an anathema to the more traditional retailers, they're now welcoming them into the shopping centers. So we're finding a new crop of retailers very interested in our centers and at very competitive retail rates.
Dennis, thank you so much for joining us.
It was a pleasure.
For more on this and other REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.